James Bond, that notorious, amazing Dr. No secret agent, is back, and half the world is out to kill him. As he pits his murderous talents against the Iron Curtain and its velvet women.
Well, I'll tell you something, Kulturni. You're one of the most beautiful girls I've ever seen.
I think my mouth is too big.
No, it's the right size. For me, that is.
And welcome back once again to Spitball Cinema. I'm Shane.
I'm Scott.
I'm David.
And at Season 4, Episode 2, it is time to continue with our James Bond theme. So we are doing From Russia with Love.
Yeah, baby.
Russia with Love.
Yeah, now this is fun. To me, this is the one where Bond hits his stride. You get all the spy stuff. This is a good one. For me, this is one of my favorite, one of my favorite Sean Connery ones.
1963, again directed by Terrence Young.
Did they shoot these back to back, you think? Or
Well, I think he had the success.
Probably
You
took
know,
a few
they
months.
probably it wasn't probably very long, I wouldn't think, because they probably shot Dr. No in 61.
Yeah.
You know,
Gotcha.
it's
Plus, you're not taking a bunch of takes. You're not spending a lot of time on special effects. Everything's mostly practical. So once you film it, you film it.
you're not sitting there getting into thinking of thinking what is my purpose of doing this scene.
Yeah, it's to be James Bond or to be killed by James Bond
Yeah.
or to be loved by James Bond. So
There's not too much method acting, I would think, in this. I mean, it is what it is, But what a great film this is.
Yeah, well,
I mean, it's fun. It is so much fun to watch this film.
and you get the intrigue, and Spectre really comes into play. Starts, you get that overarching evil organization, where it's like, ooh, Spectre,
Yeah.
So it really dives into that bigger picture story, and you get the bad guys and the stroking the cat.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see them stroking that damn white cat.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah, and it's much more action packed than Dr. No.
Oh yeah,
Much more.
much
Because
more.
it starts
Much
off
more.
with a big action kind of suspense scene because we actually think that James Bond got killed by William Shaw's character.
Yeah, and then you
Until-
realize that it's
Who?
not really him.
It's not really Dr.
Like right at the
Yeah.
beginning.
Did you say William Shaw?
Robert Shaw.
Oh, okay.
Did I say William Shaw?
Yeah, you-
Sorry, Robert Shaw.
Okay, I thought maybe I was missing a character or
I
something.
forgive you, Dave.
Thank you.
Yeah, let's not happen.
Scotty's
Let's
all
not happen
critical.
again, Dave.
No, but Robert Shaw's character, which is weird because it I kept looking at him. I'm going, he looks familiar. Is that Rutger Hauer? It can't be Rutger Hauer, but they look similar. Like young Robert Shaw looks a little bit like Rutger Hauer.
He
in my
wasn't
opinion.
going to do the part because they made him dye his hair blonde, and he was actually had turned it down. He said, "I'm not doing it."
Wow.
But he ended up finally doing it, and his physique wasn't. According to that commentary, they sent him to the gym because they said he wasn't in that great of a shape, and he worked out like 5 to 6 hours a day to get that physique he had in From Russia with Love.
Dang.
Yeah. So
Pretty big boy in that.
yeah, he was fit. He had a good look to him about that film. I mean, very
Well,
fit.
you know what? And he made a very imposing
Russian agent.
foil. Yeah, Russian agent.
Yeah.
Good foil for Bond. At least in the physical side of things. 'Cause, Sean Connery's pretty tall,
Oh yeah.
good shape. So. it made
So he
for
was a good counterpart to him, a good adversary for Bond.
And I can see why they would want him to be blonde.
Well,
probably
offset Connery with the black
Yeah.
hair,
Yeah, diametrically opposed thing. But like, visually, it's a good reason.
Right.
Well, it's like I said in our short. I didn't know Robert Shaw was English.
Oh,
Yeah. And because I was telling Scott after I watched it, I was like, dude, he's really good with an English accent.
Turns out he's just really good with a Boston, kind of,
Lady. I mean, this is like 13 years before
honestly, I would have
for
to say
Jaws,
that I saw
or 12 years or something like that.
probably the first time that I remember seeing Robert Shaw was Jaws.
Yeah, well, that's what I remember
And then
him
when
from.
you go back and you're like, what do you mean that's Robert Shaw? You know,
Yeah.
you're like, you
wow.
mean the guy on the boat? You know?
Here's young Winston. Here's all this. He did all this other stuff.
Yeah.
Before. And then me and Dave were watching a thing that he wrote a couple of books.
Yeah.
I mean, he was an author before he did this. And he played in a couple of TV shows. Was it just one?
But a couple. The one that hit off really big was
Buccaneers?
called The Buccaneers.
Buccaneers, yeah.
Oh, darn.
A TV series, which I would love to go back. I think it's free on Tubi or
Tubi,
something.
yeah.
I would love to go watch that.
That guy's slick.
Yeah, to see, because I always liked Robert Shaw. And then, after Jaws, he does The Deep. You forget about that movie, and he's just a solid actor. I mean, he's just one of these guys known to, take a little drink now and then.
Yeah.
Well, he's in
Fair enough.
that he's in that same category as Peter O'Toole, Richard Harris, Richard Burton.
Humphrey Bogart was a big drinker.
Yeah, I mean, they,
all of them.
all these guys, that's just what they did.
That's what everybody did.
And he was known to tie one on now and again.
Well, I like this movie because it gets right into it. And what's fun is it's the bad guys manipulating everything, which is kind of cool perspective.
Yeah. Big time.
Because it's Bond, and it's Bond going through obvious traps because they even mention it, but they put that bait out there with that decoder, and they're just like, all right, well, it's a trap, but we gotta try it, But the way that they manipulate things, and the way that Robert Shaw's character kind of makes sure that he finds what he needs to find, and that he doesn't get injured or killed along the way, just so they can set everything up.
Yeah, he is actually saving Bond's life a few times.
Right.
And Bond's like, damn, what the hell?
Yeah,
because he was
lucky.
like during the gypsy.
I should be dead.
the gypsies.
scene, Yeah.
Oh, yeah, those gypsies?
Yeah.
Oh, man, that was...
Robert Shaw should have wound up with the two gypsies, not Bond.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, for those who haven't seen it, if you have a gypsy fetish, you're going to love this movie.
Yeah.
I do.
Or belly dancer fetish, I mean.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man.
Dude, and you remember that one scene where Robert Shaw's standing there and he's like in those shorts, and that little mean Russian bitch takes up his brass knuckles and hits him right in the stomach. I just wanted to kick her ass.
Oh, man.
That mean old broad.
Yeah,
God.
like, he would do. It's like, oh, come on.
And Austin Powers took that character. What was her name in Austin Powers?
Frau
something. But he modeled it. I mean, it's exactly after her.
Oh, right down to
right
the
down
accent,
to the accent,
mannerisms.
Bring in the clowns. So Austin Powers took a lot of these Bond movies and put them into those movies.
Yeah. Well, but they even take like the regular Russian kind of low level clerk.
Right.
Spy, and they just force her. Basically they deceive her into thinking that she's actually doing something for her country.
Right.
But they're just basically like, hey, if you love your country, you'll go and sleep with this British guy. Yeah, I mean, literally, she's just like, yeah, okay. It's like,
Bond's like, eh.
Bond's like, okay.
Yeah. Bond will take one for the team.
Yeah.
Well, because remember, when he goes into headquarters, he wasn't really like up to the task of the job, and then they said, well, you'll meet with this person.
Well, he's hanging out with the one gal before he even goes in, the same gal from the Dr. No.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's like hanging out with her, goes back in, flirts with Moneypenny, finds out that he's got to like hook up with this Russian. He's like, well,
I'll do anything for my country.
Well, and the director in that commentary said between Dr. No and Russia Love, Sean Connery started gaining some weight, and he had to tell him to suck in his gut a few times on the scene in this movie. I mean, I don't think he was fat, but he, you could tell he had put on some weight. But he said
he got famous. He's gonna.
Yeah, he made him
go out and party.
To suck in his gut a couple of times when he was. Can you imagine? Hey, Sean, sucking your gut. What are you talking about?
Yeah. Another thing about that woman he was hanging out with when he gets the phone call, she was supposed to be a regular character of kind of his girlfriend,
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's what I would have thought.
But then after that movie, they dropped it because they're like, yeah, well, let's not make him be too much of a
Yeah, we don't want Bond to be.
tied down.
We don't want him to be tied down.
Yeah.
You know, you can't have Bond being, you know,
And also
Shackled.
that car.
A bit risque. I
the
guess.
Bentley.
The Bentley.
The-
That's the
Was it-
first time.
Yeah.
I think the
And
only
it was in the book. It was actually in the book.
Yeah, that he owned a Bentley, like the old time
Yeah.
pulled Bentley.
Well, I was impressed by the fact that they forced him to carry a Walther
Yeah.
PPK because
Yeah.
he was carrying like a Ruger. They're like,
No, it was the Beretta. It was the Beretta.
Yeah,
And it jammed on him.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm just sitting there going, wow, they forced him to. It's just a weird discussion to have.
Well, and here, back to this, From Russia with Love was supposed to be before Dr. No. And one of the reasons that gun jammed is when he was trying to kill
the
Russian gal. The mean,
the frown
the one that sticks him with the knife in the book.
Yeah.
You know, because in the book he gets stuck. You think he's dead. He ends up in the Bahamas at the hospital and stuff. So for some reason they decided to go with Dr. No first, and then this one. But actually, Russia with Love was the first. Was it the first book, or it was?
Yeah.
It was before Dr. No.
It was.
Which I think
Except
may
in
have
the
been, I don't know, that may have been better. It would have kind of explained some of the
some things.
stakes a little bit,
Mhm.
but they did a good job tying them together
Yeah.
with the
Yeah.
whole Spectre thing. So
Yeah.
so not horrible, but yeah, that is a little different.
And then the gal, when they're, what are they looking at? They're under. Are they underground and they're looking up?
He's got the telescope.
He's got the telescope
viewer.
and he's looking at her walking. You know, they couldn't use that Daniela Bianchi. They couldn't use her legs because her legs didn't look good,
And she walked funny.
and she walked funny. They said she walked funny, so they had a model up there walking for that scene.
Wow,
Yeah.
a Bond girl that wasn't good enough to be a Bond girl.
Yeah, her legs didn't. And then me and Dave saw a picture of him, and we were like, "Oh, damn! No wonder they used her. Her legs did look kind of jacked up,
Meaty.
Yeah, a little weird.
Beautiful woman, though.
Beautiful. Oh God,
Oh, and
gorgeous face.
And believe it or not, they had to
Was she had like
use
the cankles or something?
no
No,
cankles.
it's
It's just
Like,
kind of
like
odd.
almost like
the
bow-legged.
elephant woman.
And
What the
one
hell?
was kind of misshapen than the other
Yeah,
one.
it almost looked like she's bow-legged.
Yeah,
like
that's
she's been
true.
riding bulls all her life or something. I don't know.
Well, here's what's even more messed up about that actress.
Well,
They-
now it's just disturbing to me. I'm like, what the hell?
Well, another messed up thing about that actress, they didn't use her voice.
Yeah,
What?
She's an Italian.
because she's
actress.
Italian, and she couldn't.
She couldn't do a Russian accent.
So they
So
dubbed.
they dubbed over. Why the hell did they even pick her?
They
Sean
dubbed her.
Connery picked her.
Sean Connery picked her because
So
he
I
liked
want
the way
this.
she acted, but he probably didn't know she was bow-legged and she couldn't walk. You know, I mean, couldn't walk
Or
right.
could do it Russian.
So-
accent.
so they did- so they didn't use her
That's his fault that she's all bowlegged.
They didn't use her.
Beautiful lady.
They didn't use her legs and they didn't use her damn
Yeah.
voice.
She was like a miss.
That is crazy. So what you do? Just talk Italian through the whole thing, and
I
then they
guess.
like dubbed over it.
Probably that's
You
probably
know, that does explain a little bit because I noticed that her voice and her mouth didn't always line
Always
up.
line
I
up,
thought
right.
that was just '60s film quality.
right.
And
Well, it is
sound.
when you're a foreign actress.
getting
Yeah.
dubbed over.
Yeah,
Oh my goodness,
She-
that is crazy.
like
She,
Kara-
believe it or not, she was a model, an Italian model.
I can believe it. She's pretty.
And she was Miss Universal.
was she?
Yeah, she won Miss Italy, and then they had like a Universal where all the countries.
Oh darn.
And she won that, and that's why Sean Connery picked her out.
Oh darn.
I wonder how she walked down the runway though.
With a long dress.
Maybe she got.
That swimsuit.
Maybe she got in an accident and one of her legs.
Well,
got
they
messed
didn't
up
say
or
that.
something.
They didn't say that.
I don't know, man. That's,
Oh, that guy was ripping
That's
on her in
crazy.
that commentary too.
Yeah, that's
He was just giving her all kinds of shit, and me and Dave were like, "What the hell?" And then we saw a picture, and we were, "Oh, damn, okay."
huh? That's just weird. And she's the one like gal that doesn't get a good Bond chick name.
Yeah, yeah.
It's just a plain.
It's
name.
She's just like
Titania or
Yeah, they called
Yeah.
her Tanya.
yeah, crazy.
oh darn.
But
I mean, they had decent enough chemistry and all.
Oh, yeah.
yeah, you fall in love with
Yeah.
her.
Yeah.
I mean, so she.
Oh
could
yeah, she's
act.
beautiful.
But we also have to mention it's the first Bond movie where you actually see a naked lady.
Oh, in the intro?
No. The first time she meets up with Bond, she sneaks into his
Right, she's in the under the covers in the
but
bed.
before that, she is totally naked. But you just see a side view.
Yeah,
you
when
just
she's
see
like
side view.
diving into the bed.
Yeah, and I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, we're not actually gonna.
How did they not blur that out or?
It's probably a model.
It might be.
Or it could have just been the director saying, no. I mean, granted, we're not going to show anything on film, but, you know, you still got to be naked.
You're not
Come on,
doing a
take it off.
close-up.
Yeah.
So apparently,
Probably when they found out about the legs.
Yeah.
well, the director said that there was a ton of scenes in both Dr. No and From Russia with Love where all the women were supposed to be naked.
Yeah, like the gypsy fighting scenes.
The two girls,
the two gypsies, they really hated each other.
hated each other a lot.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's why that.
Well, I mean,
That's why it looks so
they
good.
really looked like they didn't like each other,
Yeah.
so I just
Yeah.
thought that was decent acting by gypsies.
So if you like girl-on-girl fights in underwear, you'll
Hey,
love.
there's
From Russia with Love.
nothing better than a bunch of gypsy women fighting and rolling around in the mud and the grass and stuff. I like it.
I mean, it's such a chauvinistic pig of a movie because all the guys are sitting around laughing.
That's
and
why we're all,
drinking.
that's why
you know
most
what?
of
That's one of the things too that everyone's always talking about. The Daniel Craig Bond is, they really push the non-chauvinistic, non-womanizing.
well, hell with
kind of
that.
thing. But it shows you. I mean, it really shows cultural shifts throughout the years. And it's one of those things.
Yeah, but nobody wants James Bond to be sensitive. We want him to be a chauvinist and a pig that's saving the world and sleeping with the enemy and then knocking them off.
I'm not saying that that's not what I want. I'm just saying that that's what
Well,
happens.
that's what you can't have Bond change. What are you going to make it into?
That's the thing, and I'm sure we'll get into that a lot more when we get to the end
Yeah.
of in the series. But
Well, that's one of the reasons Connery started getting pissed off and why he didn't want to keep doing these movies, because they started writing in more funnier and campier dialogue and stuff. And by the time you get to Roger Moore,
Roger Moore, it takes off.
Yeah, it takes off like that. And that's one of the reasons Connery, he wanted to keep it more serious like the books and more,
a little more grounded.
a little more grounded and stuff. And I think that's one of the reasons he got into it with Albert Broccoli, Cubby Broccoli. Because he said, really, he's the first Bond villain.
Yeah.
he said that on Johnny Carson. Carson about lost his shit. He was laughing so hard.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. He said, who was the first Bond villain? He said, Cubby Broccoli. He didn't even waste, just didn't even waste a beat, But see, his daughter has taken over the franchise, and that's why that crap's getting a little bit more sensitive and stuff.
Well, not just her, but society also.
Yeah, it just makes me want to puke.
We got the good old days.
Yeah, I want James Bond to be James Bond.
Smoking, womanizing.
Yeah.
Well, because he does. He likes
martini drinking, shaken not stirred.
He slaps a woman in From Russia with Love, and he also keeps spanking the Tanya in her butt.
Yeah, that's true.
And she's like, "Ooh,
Oh, no.
you're so guy."
Well, they're supposed to act like they're married, so hey.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's right. But they also said, because I was telling Scott this earlier, I was like, that fight between James Bond and the Robert Shaw character, looked real.
Yeah, that was a great fight scene. Good.
It's seriously one of the best fight scenes.
Very claustrophobic, and you had that real sense that they were stuck inside of that train
Yeah,
car.
yeah.
It got serious
Dude.
quick.
Yeah.
I think maybe some stuff clashed between Offset, and they're like, "I'm gonna kill."
They said it took them 3 weeks to film that.
I'd be getting a little tired too.
Did it really take
Yeah,
them
it took 3 weeks to film that
Ooh.
scene.
Ooh.
Yeah.
It
They did
really
a
is
great job on that
It
scene.
really is.
And they did their own stunts. Robert
Yeah.
Shaw and Connery did their own
Yeah,
stunts.
when you
on
go
that.
back and watch it, when they're hitting their head really hard on the wall,
Well,
that's
you
them.
had to, because it's all close up. There's no pulling back wide shots on that or anything, or doing a bunch of cut scenes.
Another thing I also noticed was that when they were traveling on the train, it kind of, I remembered the Raiders of the Lost Ark of them following the map when Indy was in the air with the airplane, they would
Oh
show.
yeah.
So I was probably wondering if, like, you know, if they took that probably from that movie.
Well, and they also mirrored. We were watching. They mirrored this. It was almost a copy of North by Northwest, the Alfred Hitchcock
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah,
you know, because they had the airplane scene, and in this one they had the helicopter scene and crashes and stuff.
Yeah, they said that the helicopter almost hit Connery at least 3 times.
Well, the director, remember the director was in the helicopter when they were filming, and it crashed in the water.
That's right. He crashed in the water.
Crashed in the water with a helicopter, and he jumped out and just start filming.
Yeah, said, "Come on, we got to get the shot."
Yeah.
There you go. That's dedication.
Well, that's something that's been in World War II. It hasn't bothered him.
That's true.
Yeah.
But they had to shoot
He just didn't have Audrey Hepburn around.
Yeah. They had to shoot the helicopter scene and the boat chase scene in Scotland
because of the waters were too rough.
in Istanbul.
Mm-hmm. In Istanbul. Yeah.
That makes sense.
But let's
just
talk.
the look and the feel of this movie is just so cool.
Oh, it's awesome.
I mean, it's just so cool the way.
And it kept things exotic, you know, and you were constantly on the move. And then, you know, when you get the train scenes, you know, it's very Murder on the Orient Express kind of a vibe.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like you run through a bunch of different little tropes. You know, it's a well-paced, well-done movie with a lot of travel. It's the, you know, does she really love him? Is she just playing a role? You know, that she's, I don't know, at least I always had it in the back of my head that she might just still be just faking it the whole time. You know, he accuses her of it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
and it's really not until the very end that you find out that, you know,
because he learns
she's
from
got her back. You know, she's
well, he
got
learned
it,
from
you know.
Robert Shaw's character. Like, yeah, she doesn't know anything about Spectre, and
she's
doing it for Russia.
Although I will say the Weasley chess player guy that comes up with the big plan. Yeah, I thought that was a great scene with you know, with you got the number one, you know, this cat, and then he's got the, you know, here's this Weasley guy, and it sounds like he's gonna off the German girl, and she's all like, oh no, you know, and you know, he gets it, you know. But it's amazing.
Well, see, I didn't know really
that
because I told.
So they keep you guessing. They keep you in suspense.
When the woman stabs the plan maker with that knife out of her shoe, and she kicks it into his side of his leg.
Yeah,
and I'm like, did he bleed out real fast and die? But then they explained that it was covered in poison and stuff. So, but what was I gonna say? Go ahead.
Well, they had the one actor Pedro.
That's what I was going to bring up.
Armendariz.
The guy that was his contact in Istanbul that had all the sons working for him.
He was so cool.
He was dying of cancer.
He was in pain.
And they didn't know if he was going to make it throughout the film, and they went ahead and made sure that.
Well, he was friends with Terrence Young, the director.
Yeah, he was friends with Terrence Young, and they went ahead and made sure that I think he did die. Did he die during the filming or shortly after?
No, it was like 3 months after.
They made sure that
he didn't get to see it.
Yeah, he didn't
after they shot after the last.
But they made sure that his family was going to get all the money set up and deserved. Even if he passed away, or when he passed away, that they would still get all his.
He got paid
all his earnings.
He got paid top bill.
This guy he played in a lot of John Wayne movies, right? This Pedro, like Fort Apache, and some different movies.
Is that the gypsy guy?
No, the contact guy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
His son, Pedro Armendariz Jr., played in a lot of movies. After that, you know what character he was in? Tombstone. He played the priest that Johnny Ringo kills at the beginning of Tombstone.
Oh, really?
Yeah, this guy's son.
I'll be
so, but so
that's cool.
They made sure he got top billing pay, and they also I think they also took out a little percentage of what the movie was going to make, but the guy. Was in the hospital after the last day of rap. He was in the hospital and he was in so much pain. He had somebody, or did he
Yeah.
sneak a gun?
He
in?
snuck a gun in and shot himself.
Shot himself in the chest
Mhm.
because he was in so much pain from the cancer.
Yeah.
Damn.
God, it's so sad.
Yeah.
But you're right. He is really good in the movie.
He is slick in the movie, and like I said, it's the better. To me, the cinematography is so much better. The sets are so much better. When they're going through on that boat in the underground kind of flooded canals and stuff, you're just like, this is cool. This is some subterfuge, you know. And then they're coming up underneath the Russians, you know, and the console and stuff. It's so cool.
Oh,
well, you remember when the Russian gal and the other gal that Bond messed with a little bit earlier, they're in front of Blofeld. Was it Blofeld? Yeah, they're in front of Blofeld, and he's petting that cat.
Yeah.
And they're apologizing for not doing this or that. Was it a guy or was it the gal, the Russian? I think it was a guy.
I think
it was a guy and the girl. Guy walks across the little bridge thing, and the girl starts to walk across, and he pushes a button, and the thing goes down like that, and she slides down into the piranhas. She's like, you know. And he just right then, you know, this guy's a bastard. You know,
It's like sharks with.
You remember that? You remember that
heads.
scene? You remember that scene?
Yeah.
Then you had Miss Moneypenny. You know, he's always flirting with her still. She was good. Lois Maxwell is her name.
She was awesome.
Yeah.
She threw it right back at him.
She gave him just as much crap.
You know, yeah, it was always pretty good. They had a nice dynamic.
Yeah, they did.
And we got also, even though we mentioned him a little bit in the first episode from Dr. No, the gadget guy.
Yeah, Q.
Mm-hmm.
Shows up and you know,
gets the fancy briefcase with the knife and
now pay attention, 007. Now pay attention.
The nerve gas. And
if you turn it the wrong way, then open up the briefcase.
No, 007, don't push that button. You pay attention. I love the way he would get so mad at him. You know,
it's so cool.
Because James Bond, he'd just be like, "Hey, what's this? What's this?" You know.
Yeah, the gadgets get more gadgety as you go.
Yeah.
So.
And it's so cool because they end up every time they show him, he ends up using the shit in the movie. You know,
without fail, he uses every single last
every single one of them. Yeah, it's just what they do.
Yeah.
But I really liked this movie. I thought it was good.
It's a good one.
This is one you can watch over and over again. You know, the performances are and you see Connery. He's coming into his own. He's getting that rhythm. He's finding that his character's not a little shaky. He's steady now. He knows how to play this character.
Oh yeah.
And by the time we get to the third film, Goldfinger, he's down. He's got this down. I mean, he is James Bond. But when he gets to Goldfinger, that's it. Yeah. He knows that character. There's no ands, if, or buts. I mean, there's no shakiness about it at all.
Another behind-the-scenes tidbit that we watched today was that they had to go back and shoot some scenes, and then they had to make a certain date for the movie to come out. So the guy who edited the movie only had 3 months to try to piece.
Yeah, because it was all over the place.
Yeah,
he said it wasn't making really sense. But he only had 3 months to try to fix this movie, because there was parts that weren't working right, and he went in and he. In 3 months to do that whole film.
Remember, this is without computers and stuff.
Yeah, that's
look at shit up in the light.
Yeah,
and tape it.
And old equipment. I mean, this is
a little magnifying glass you run down the film.
3 months, and he kind of saved the franchise. You know, but just because this movie made a lot of money.
Well, it went over budget, and they were afraid that they didn't know how the audiences was going to respond to it. It made a buttload of money.
It
surpassed Dr. No, and I think they said for today's value of what the money was worth back then, if it came out today, it would have made over $804.5 million at the box office.
And what did they? It didn't cost very much to make it. $2 million.
Yeah, and
wow.
Yeah.
But
$2 million is your catering budget.
Yeah, exactly.
Now Sean Connery did say it was his favorite Bond movie, and he went back and
years later
and Xbox, the original first Xbox game console, had a From Russia with Love Bond game, which was really, really good.
Really good. It was a good game.
It sold well, it played well, and he went back
and did the voice for
Bond.
And that's not
How
like
cool is that?
And he never liked a lot of the other games and stuff that they came out, but he liked this one, the From Russia with Love, so much so that he went and did the voice for him.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought it was really cool.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite Bond movies. I mean, it's probably in the top 5.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It is definitely up there.
And it just breaks my heart to see that guy who's in pain from cancer, you know.
Oh, yeah.
That sucks.
And he said that some of the scenes, the
painkillers
off the buffet tray there.
Well, you know what makes me sad is knowing that wasn't her real legs.
Would you stop it?
I'm still can't get
or
over
her
that.
real voice.
Or her real voice. I mean, I just feel like I've been cheated.
All right. Just think about the gypsies, Scott.
Okay.
Think about the gypsies.
Dude, the gypsies are awesome in that
Gypsies.
movie. Oh, so cool.
Gypsies
Mud
make everything
wrestling,
better.
gypsies.
Love them. They're so cool.
Well, I think that's. You guys have anything else about From Russia with Love?
No. What do we got coming up next, though? What's our next film?
Our next two films will be Goldfinger and Thunderball. No, yeah, it's got to be Thunderball, I think.
Oh my gosh.
They go in order. I've got the thing written down. I can't remember.
No, that's all right. Hey, Goldfinger. We got that one
Okay,
coming up next,
Goldfinger and
perfect.
And is it Thunderball?
I'm looking right
we'll get
now.
to all of them, but
all right, Goldfinger and then Thunderball.
Okay, yeah, that's right.
65.
Okay, so those two will be next.
Excellent.
We're just going right in order and trying to go down the.
Gold.
Yeah, it's gonna be a fun little journey, just catching all the Bonds.
One thing I forgot.
What's that?
Because the Bond movies always have cool theme songs, right?
Mm-hmm.
So From Russia with Love, they went to Frank Sinatra.
Oh yeah.
To sing it.
Oh really?
But he turned it down for some reason. I can't remember. I should have probably looked it up. So they went to a guy who was not very well known as Frank Sinatra, but sounded like Frank Sinatra. And when you listen to it, it sounds like Frank Sinatra.
But Frank's daughter didn't make that mistake though, because she sang "You Only Live Twice" later on.
Right.
Well, Frank probably told her, "Hey, baby, you need to do that because the old man messed up."
Yeah. Avenge me.
Tell him you want a couple of mil. I want my cut, baby. But anyway, if you like this episode, please like and subscribe. And if you need to get a hold of us, you can get a hold of us at spitballcinema@gmail.com.
Yeah, please like, subscribe, share with your friends. Tell them to get on this journey with us to talk about the Bond movies. And the time this comes out, they're going to be telling us who the new Bond is.
Yeah, as soon as we find out, we'll
announce
throw that out there as well.
It's in the next few months, so
yeah, should be exciting.
Should be. All right, everyone. Thank you for listening. I'm Scott.
I'm Shane.
I'm David.
Thank you, folks.
Love you.
Yeah.
Bye.
From Russia with Love. They dance for him. They yearn for him. They die for him. From Zagreb to Sofia, from Venice to Istanbul, from Paris to London, Agent 007 cuts an inimitable path through the palaces and boudoirs of espionage.
James, you're hurting me.
I'll do worse than that if you don't tell me. I'm doing this under orders I know. And what are they?
Even if you kill me, I can say nothing.